Thanks so much for taking the hand. We are here with Sebastian Roché. He is the father of all the vampires from the Vampire Diaries.
That's right.
And I'm so excited because I also watched the show. I know I'm a man, but I do, and I love it. And I got some.
Do you like it? Yeah.
I have some tears in my eyes sometimes.
You do?
I have. So, how emotional is it for you if you're watching the show because you know how it was made?
It's. I mean, it's. Sometimes when I watch certain scenes in the originals, notably the scenes where Klaus, is with his baby, and these are very emotional scenes. And there are a lot of scenes between Elijah and Haley that are very. There's a lot of what I love about the show is the heart of the show, the sort of family dynamic. Even though it's a dysfunctional family. There are not too many tears to shed for my character because I'm pure evil, basically. But I love the family emotional dynamic of the show. It's very moving at times. It's very cruel at times, but it's very moving. Don't you agree?
And it's so.
Yes. She's like. You should be right behind her.
It's so like
yes.
when I watch the show, I wonder because there are so many people, especially so many girls, attracted to this vampire thing. What do you think? Why is vampires, mostly for girls at this moment, so attractive, so popular?
Well, because first of all, everyone's really attractive in the originals. They don't really hire, ugly vampires. But I think, there's a sort of mythical, romantic quality to a vampire. This is a man who's an immortal who feeds on other people. There's a sort of sexual aspect to biting, into a woman's neck, And I think women it appeals to a lot of women. And usually, vampires are pictured as sort of, handsome, doomed, mythical, immortal, sad creatures in a way, because being immortal in a way is a wondrous thing, but it's a curse at the same time. So I think there's the appeal, the danger, the fact that they're also usually portrayed as very educated people, but also dangerous and also tender, and they feed. And they have this sort of sexual aura about them, and I think that's why women, and we could ask your assistant why do women like vampires?
Yeah, why?
Yeah, why? Tell me.
Actually, you said everything.
I said everything pretty much.
And
it's the teeth. It's there. No, I'm joking. It's not the teeth.
And when you are entering the street yesterday evening, you are the first one that makes real rock and roll because the people going wild for you. So, what kind of feeling is it if you're entering a con like this and being welcomed like a rock star?
Well, no, it's an amazing feeling. I mean, it means that I've done my job well, because first and foremost, I'm an actor. I'm not a vampire, but I do take my job very seriously. Especially Michael is a sort of very. The character I play on the originals, who's the father of the originals, is a very polarizing figure. There's something unbelievably dangerous about him, but he has 1,000 years of history, 1,000 years of dysfunction and chaos that he drags with him. So I think people are kind of fascinated by him. They're pretty terrified of him. So when I come into a con and I start making people laugh, they're like, "Oh my God, I didn't expect Michael to be like that." But I think people are attracted to things that are dangerous as well. They're attracted to the unknown, and Michael is like a wild animal. You never know what he's going to do next. So sometimes I meet people in the street and they want to meet me, but they're scared of me. And I think women always like the bad boys, don't they? I think so. And I'm the uber bad boy.
Yeah. And you did very lots of fantasy and science fiction series like Vampire Diaries, the originals, Supernatural, Grimm, and don't forget Fringe, and don't forget this very nice sci-fi series, which I personally enjoy very much. Odyssey 5. I don't know why they have deleted this after one season. I liked it very much. So, how much are you personally into this science fiction and fantasy genre? Do you enjoy it also?
Yes, I personally enjoy science fiction very much. I mean, if it's done well, I loved the early. I mean, I loved early science fiction movies from the 50s, but you know, the one science fiction movie that I truly, truly loved was Alien, the first one, directed by Ridley Scott, because his approach to science fiction was, I mean, there's Alien and 2001: A Space Odyssey too. These were movies that basically brought the science fiction genre into auteur, sort of auteur cinema. And I'm fascinated with that. What I loved about Alien was the minutiae, you know, the detail, and the script was so well done, and everything was so, it felt extremely realistic. It felt that it could totally happen. You know, there are other monsters that we have. In our world, the monsters are usually human beings. But in 2001: A Space Odyssey, it was the same, this attention to detail in this fantasy world. So yeah, I've always been a great fan of some series too. When I was a young kid, I loved Space 1999. I don't know if you remember that. Yep. You know, Star Trek, of course, you know, and but I like the very sort of realistic sci-fi, you know. I love the show I'm on. I really think it's you know, I love the Vampire Diaries, but the originals is very different. It's more of this sort of older family dynamic. I love science fiction. I really, if it's really well done. I love sort of very realistic science fiction too.
And you are able to talk a little bit of German, and you show us yesterday
yes.
how well you can talk German. So can we get some more examples?
So you want to know a few sounds in German? I mean, yes. Most of the stuff I know in German is swear words. You know, I don't know if you want to listen to that, but you know, I know some words that are very nice, like ich liebe dich. What else? What is it? Das ist gemütlich. Das ist gefährlich. What else? What is that poem? There's that beautiful poem in Der Himmel über Berlin. Did you remember that film by Wim Wenders?
Oh yeah.
Where he was reciting Peter Handke, you know, which was Als das Kind war. And I can't remember the rest. But of course, you know, as a kid I was taught Arschloch and Schweinhund and you know, the really bad, I don't know if I can say them on RTL, but you know.
We can try.
Yeah. What else? Ich weiß. What else do I know in German? What else do I know in German? Many words, you know.
But
I can recite all the numbers in German.
Okay, but you don't speak really German. If I would ask you a German question, or if I would talk with her in German, you wouldn't understand?
No, okay. I wouldn't understand. Okay. Well, it depends, but I don't think I would. No. I can fake it. I played a few Germans, you know, on TV. And Grimm, I played German. I don't know if my accent was great on Grimm, but it was okay. You saw it? You saw Grimm?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how good my accent was. It was okay, you know.
Yes.
But I played, you know, a German character, you know, who spoke. Because Germans speak very good English, so, as a rule.
And the last question, so if you looking at all those nice fans here, did you have maybe some
if I'm looking what?
At all those fans, did you have some contacts, maybe some people that you have maybe get some letters from or some emails, and you met them here?
Yeah,
do you have still this kind of fan contact?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, it's, you know, I really enjoy the fan contact, because I mean, it's because of the fans that we are where we are, you know. But in the older days, you didn't have as much contact with the fans because there were not as many cons. Social media was non-existent. So now you can really gauge, you know, how appreciative the fans are with you, and I think it's very interesting. And I love to keep a contact on Twitter. You know, I can't answer all the fans. It's impossible because I have now 350,000 or 20,000 fans. So but I like to sort of what I like to do with my fans is, you know, communicate with them generally, and I like to also share what is important to me, you know, in terms of news, in terms of what is going on with the world, in terms of my political beliefs, which I think are very important things to share. To, you know, if some people are not aware of them, I like to make them aware. And a lot of fans actually have told me that they love to follow my tweets because, you know, I'd like my tweets to be relevant, and I don't want my tweets to talk about, you know, my muscles or my, you know, the shape of my eye, or, you know, Justin Bieber, because that would be totally uninteresting. So, but you know, I like to to have a true discussion with my fans. And I've met a lot of people who who've said, I really like your tweets. I learn a lot of stuff because nobody really reads the news anymore. So sometimes a lot of people know about politics in America through the Daily Show by Jon Stewart. I don't know if you know that show. It's a comedic show done by a brilliant comedian on the news. And I'm kind of a I'm not really anyone you can really count for news, but if I love to discuss that with my fans. I'll find things in the news outlets that I'm interested in and share it with them. I'll share other stuff. I'll be fun too. I'm not only about news, but I'll share many things.